On the racetrack next, shots to go Espresso 1200 division at Deming Speedway. Jaden Thomas, your J10. The 6H tonight is Haley Bloodgood. The black 10 is Cody Hogarth, and Parker Hadlock is the 01. Unfortunately, Haley around in turn number 2 as it is awfully slick over there. Drivers in multiple divisions having problems at the second corner already, and you can see it is drier than a popcorn fart out in the racetrack. There's a lot of slick down already. We're anticipating a very healthy track watering coming up post time ins. So, green flag out to Bloodgood 6, as everybody else follows. And we'll watch and see how they tiptoe around the Deming Speedway here in the 1200s. First 4 in the books: Thomas, Hogarth, Hadlock, and Bloodgood. So we have got, looks like 5 more to go. Second group of cars has made their way to the racetrack. It is the 2 of Jesse Branham making his season debut. Terry Lewis is in the 30, and Jared Ulseth in car number 8. Ulseth goes up and kisses the wall in the second corner. First lap, going to be a little slow for him. Lewis, your quick qualifier now. Branham, Thomas, Hogarth, and Hadlock, your top 5 with 3 to go. Maybe 2 to go. Seeing somebody synced up a second time by accident, so 2 to go. Here comes the 10 of Clinton Holloway. Engine is sounding interesting on Clennon's car. And then the more different 10 is Dakota Drake. Here's your really interesting dichotomy. Bad sounding motor, good sounding motor. And they show each other in the lap times. Lewis still quick time. Lewis, Branham, Thomas, Drake, and Hogarth 1 through 5 here in the 1200s. In the 17, 10M, that's Kyle Mitchell. It's the all-orange 10 car. Peyton Drake's the 22. Drake is 5th in points. Alex Lewis is 5. Sits 6th in points. The 92 of Seth Hesby, 3rd in points on the year. All right, so now that we've got Paul down here to the front stretch as well, along with Bill, we can tell you guys the reason that we just stopped the whole show to bring them forward. It is, of course, Skagit Speedway night of the races here at Deming Speedway for the mid-season championship night. And the Lemley brothers, the three of them, Dave, Bill, Paul, contributed more to the early growth of Skagit Speedway than any other group. Their father was the original GM promoter of the racetrack. Dave, winning driver, assisted in much of the construction in the 60s and 70s, was also at the track GM promoter for about 9.5 years in the 80s and 90s. Bill, who you see here on the right, driver and mechanic for the famous Ford number 10, also in charge of building many of the projects such as the guardrails and the grandstands. His mechanical skills have kept much of the equipment running for over 40 years. Paul, youngest of the boys, always working on the race car and doing maintenance at the Speedway as well for Jim Raper and brother Dave. Started and continues to operate here what we have at Deming Speedway so well, and was the GM promoter of Skagit Speedway in the 90s. It is my distinct pleasure tonight to announce that as of next weekend, Skagit Speedway will be proud to induct Dave, Bill, and Paul Lemley into the Skagit Speedway Hall of Fame. And I can't think of three more guys that are more deserving. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you for letting me stop the race show. You can go back to working on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, next weekend, Hall of Fame at Skagit Speedway, we will induct all three Lemley brothers. So very, very cool. The America-looking 8 car, that's Jared Ulseth. The 6H is Haley Bloodgood, and the all-orange 10 is Clennon Holloway tonight, driving the Frosty Metcalf mobile.
Freshly groomed racetrack coming up for these 1200s as lights are out around the track. Branham and Holloway bring him to green. We are underway.
To the drop, going into the second corner from the bottom. Give it to Drake down the back straightaway. As Thomas pursues in the high groove, Drake let the car wander out from the middle. Wheel to wheel down the front straightaway is Jaden trying to find bite off the cushion in 2. Give it to Drake, but we got one around in the second corner.
Really good race for the lead going on there, but Branham just backed it into turn 1 a little bit too hard and biked up on that berm and wasn't able to save it. So really good race up front, though, Caleb, going on there the first couple laps.
Yep, Drake and Thomas pretty evenly matched up at the very beginning. Branham's first race of the year. And then Jaden Thomas, Terry Lewis, Cody Hogarth, Parker Hadlock, Jared Ulseth, Haley Bloodgood, Clennon Holloway, and Jesse Branham. 1 through 9 here on the restart. 1 down, 7 to go.
I feel like these 7 laps are going to be very, very entertaining.
Dakota will wait about a car length beyond the black stripe. She'll go right to the bottom of 1 and 2, and Thomas will go right back to the cushion in pursuit. Battles back in the pack side by side. That's for about 6th position. As definitely 2 distinct racing grooves, but right now nobody within the top 4 making big progress on each other. As Drake changes his lines, she went to the high side of 3 and 4. She'll stick low in 1 and 2, and Thomas still trying to rim ride to catch up.
Thomas has been right around the top almost all night, and Drake taking his line away there in 3 and 4. I don't think that's the line that Drake wants to be in, but it's working for him to keep the lead as Thomas still trying to get the car ripping around the top. As Branham goes to the infield, he'll spin it sideways. We stay green.
Close call for our officials down there as Branham angling down and through, manages to get the car stopped. Drake up top is adding some distance between herself and Thomas. We're 6 down, 2 to go. And the next time around, Dakota Drake gonna look at the white flag.
We see that cushion over in 1 and 2 just pushing higher and higher and higher, and that's been something that's kind of hindered Thomas the last couple laps as Drake takes the white flag here on this heat race for your Shots to Go Espresso 1200s.
Dakota Drake rim rides her way around corner 4. She'll win the heat race tonight. Thomas, Lewis, Hadlock, Hogarth, Ulseth, Bloodgood, and Holloway.
Yeah, track has already changed so much, Caleb. From
6 times around for the top 6 starting spots in tonight's main event. Homewood had been running the Jacob Buckenmeyer car with his number on it for past couple of weeks. Looks like he's back into his familiar ride for tonight. Off the corner, we're green. Homewood digging down low. Mitchell's got the bite up high. Can almost see him picking the front end off the ground as he rockets to a 2-car length lead over Derek. Early lead to Mitchell. Homewood, Hespy, and Vaughn side by side for third.
Hespy rolling that bottom of the track as Vaughn's going to get the run out of 2. Hespy really trying to get that car to roll and get some traction off the corner.
It was Nate taking the feature win from Hespy last week with 5 laps to go on a restart. Hespy looking for a little revenge, albeit here in the scramble, as they're still neck and neck. Mitchell's scooting away from both of them. For third, they're wheel to wheel, and they're keeping Homewood kind of close.
Seth is surprising me being so quick and staying right there with Vaughn on the bottom, but man, watching Kyle Mitchell out front, he is right on the fence over in 1 and 2. That cushion's right on the wall. Homewood right there behind him, too.
Oh, problems on the N8. The N8 of Vaughn slowing off the second corner, and that is assuredly going to draw yellow. Tough as Nate and Dad Justin, they had that car very nimble tonight. And unfortunately for Vaughn, to a stop as he lost power right about the Silver Reef Casino sign.
Was running side by side with Vaughn for most of that race so far.
Now without Nate to worry about pressuring him right there, Seth can also move grooves if he wants to. If he had wanted to try the high side, never could because he had an N8 car up there blocking the lane. So we'll see what Hespy chooses to do as we'll come to the restart. Mitchell, Homewood, Hespy, Lewis, and Drake back to green.
Mitchell with a good restart. He'll lead down into 1 to the top. Hespy's going to go to the bottom. Almost pull even with Homewood, but we'll see the white flag this time by.
Don't be surprised to see Seth alter his line here and run the top for at least one more lap. Just to find out what's up there. He will go to the top of 1 and 2. Information for the main coming as Drake looked at Lewis, couldn't get by. Your scramble winner is Kyle Mitchell. Derek Homewood, Seth Hespy, Alex Lewis, and Peyton Drake 1 through 5. Here in the 1200 scramble.
So Kyle Mitchell will start on the pole of tonight's 1200 A main event. Homewood to the outside of him in row number 1.
Mitchell versus Homewood has been the battle for most of the year. Both Vaughn and Hespy have been having some really strong runs here lately. Let's see if they can jump up to pull the upset. As they roll into the third corner, they will make their way at a corner number 4. 1200 main event underway. We're green. Good run by Mitchell into the bottom of the first turn. Homewood hanging tough in the high groove. Trying to pull forward. Mitchell across the nose. Homewood into the wall. And we'll go caution. We'll go red, in fact. Red as Homewood into the wall, coming off of 4. Oh, boy. Well, Derek Homewood, that is a rough way to end the night. Mitchell and Hespy this time. We're green. Kyle picks the front end up and off the ground, and we're going to go caution.
Mitchell got a little jump there, Caleb, that obviously the starters did not like. So had about a car length on him at the flag stand. So of course you want to see a little bit closer than what that was. So come back around and see if they can do it better.
Pressure's on now for Mitchell after the initial start. Now that one where on the hammer just a little bit early. It's going to have to be perfect this time around. Let's see if Hespe can take advantage. This one looks good, at least into 1 and 2. There is Hespe. Big old bite off the top. And he'll go to the low side. Actually, a little short slide on himself through the corner. It's a nice defensive play by Hespe as he leads the first time by.
Seth Hespe got the exact kind of start he needed, but it's not going to be without a huge fight from Kyle Mitchell. As now Nate Vaughn's going to look to the inside of Drake coming out of 4. Nate Vaughn fighting for the 3rd spot down into 1.
Vaughn did it on the bottom of the racetrack last week, trying to get by Drake. They'll touch tires as Vaughn trying to make the low groove work. Drake's got momentum off the high groove. Holds him at bay for now. A good race for 3rd. Drake from up high. Just can't quite get off the top of 2 the way he wants to. And there's the slide job for Vaughn for 3rd.
Drake's going to try to turn it back underneath, but Vaughn's going to take the momentum away. Nate Vaughn back to the top as Peyton Drake now going to try to get back to the bottom. Your top 2 starting to walk away. We are on lap number 5 of this 30-lap A main event. Your leader still Seth Hespe.
Remember, Vaughn had trouble in the scramble tonight. He was running 3rd. He ended up having to start 6th in this main because of the mechanical issues. See if you can run down your top 2. Your top 2, now start fighting for that. As Mitchell, you can see him kind of sniffing out a short slider of his own. He is right up near the rear bumper of Seth Hespe with 7 down.
Nate Vaughn's about 2/10 faster than your 2 leaders, so Nate's definitely starting to track him down by running a little bit better lap times. As those guys might just start wearing each other out side by side. Nate's going to have some advantage here.
There goes Mitchell. He started just a hair lower into turn number 1. That time trying to sneak out and find the path around Hespe. And you're right, Nate Vaughn is lingering. Nate Vaughn is closing. He gets incredible charge through the apex of the corner. We're about to have a 3-car siesta for the top spot.
And it's going to get even more interesting, Caleb, because we got lap traffic that's going to start coming into play here in the next couple laps. You see Hespe running that high line, lap traffic on the bottom. Now Mitchell's going to go up to the top. He's going to have to figure out how to run it as Nate Vaughn's going to try to get to the inside.
We know that Bloodgood is very good about holding her line when the leaders come up to her. 2nd place going to change hands. Mitchell too high up and into the marbles, gets sideways at the corner exit. And that gives Vaughn 2nd place. Nate Vaughn now on the hunt for the lead.
The last couple laps are not what Kyle Mitchell wanted in that 10 car. He has had some trouble getting his way around these corners at Deming Speedway. That cushion right up on the fence, especially down in corners 1 and 2. The only guy able to run it to his advantage right now is Seth Hespe out in the lead.
Look at that path that they're running up and around the top. It's like a slot car track up there. They've got a really distinct groove to run in around the high side, and these cars flying around Deming Speedway. Halfway home this time by Hespe, Vaughn, Mitchell 1 through 3 on the breakaway.
Nate Vaughn was 3/10 faster than Seth Hespe on that last lap. Hespe's going to get up to lap traffic here. Not too much of a challenge. Nate Vaughn, though, is lingering. He wants to win this race.
And he is making a lot of it up right there off of turn number 2. Keeping the car just a hair straighter than Hespe. Getting through those corners real nice like. So we're 13 to go. Vaughn's still a little bit of ground to make up. But if he can get there, he's got the car speed to do it.
If we stay green, it's going to get really interesting because just up ahead here, a few cars away from your leader, we're going to have lap cars that are using both lanes, and Hespe's going to have to make a choice because Nate Vaughn is ready to get that spot when it comes in.
And Vaughn's got the opportunity, and you can see him. He's going to the bottom of 3 and 4. He's taking some chances to experiment with his groove to find out if he can use alternate portions of the racetrack to pass on. It's down to a 2-car length advantage for Hespy as Vaughn hunting him on the low side of 3 and 4 with 10 to go.
Hespy knows he's there now. He showed his nose. Seth Hespy knows that Nate Vaughn is ready to go. Hespy now goes to the bottom. Nate Vaughn's going to look to the outside, down the back straight away, but he makes contact with the wall.
Had to get off the throttle, smacks the fence. Here comes Vaughn though, round number 2, and he's got the speed to the bottom of 1 and 2. Shows him the wheel. Hespy from the high side turns him away there.
Hespy knows Nate Vaughn is all over him. They've got a car that's just fast enough to be dangerous in front of them, and they are side by side down into 1. Nate Vaughn is trying to steal this win away from Seth Hespy.
Cody Hogarth is that slower car. To the bottom goes Hespy to block, and here comes Mitchell around the top, lingering, waiting for those two to do something, as Hespy into the middle off of 2. Big run by Vaughn down the back straightaway.
Vaughn gets a huge run off of corner 2. He'll look to the bottom. It's Hespy to the outside. Nate Vaughn takes the lead on lap 24.
Vaughn's got it. Hespy trying to come back after it to get it. They've all got to get around Hogarth. If they can do that, it's clear sailing for a little bit. As Vaughn going to use the slider to get around the slower car. Mitchell up on the back of Hespy looking for second.
Mitchell now right on the rear bumper of that 92 of Seth Hespy, but still Hogarth. It's Hespy starting to get around him to keep that second spot.
Hogarth goes to the bottom. There's the path that Hespy needed to get up and around the high groove, as Vaughn's gone to the top of 1 and 2. Vaughn, oh no, something wrong on the N8. Hespy gets up in the air. It's going to be Hespy retaking this lead, and it's all due to the detriment of Vaughn, who 4 laps from pay dirt tonight, and the N8 gives out on him.
Oh no, Caleb. Nate Vaughn, after problems in the scramble, as he made his way to the lead from 6th on the start of that. Lights are out. It's Seth Hespy leading Kyle Mitchell, Peyton Drake, Alex Lewis, Terry Lewis back to the green flag. We have 4 laps to go in this A-main event. Seth Hespy leads them back. We are green.
Wow, what a late restart, too, from the 92. He cheats his way to the cushion. Almost slid himself, but he really didn't get all that far low. There's Mitchell trying to go to the very bottom. Hespy knows he's there. Seth gonna run that same line in 1 and 2, and he got good launch off the top of the second corner and gets himself just a little breathing room as we come to 2 to go.
Seth just needs 2 more smooth laps here around Deming Speedway. He's got the lead. He knows he needs to defend, and it looks good right now. He's going to see the white flag this time by.
Now Mitchell is not opposed to throwing the kamikaze bomb coming up. He's looking to build some speed through 1 and 2. He'll get his way to the cushion coming off, bounces the car, and that may be it. Back straight away for the final time. Tonight's win to Seth Hespy. Mitchell 2, Lewis and Lewis 3 and 4, Drake 5, right in front of his sister.
That was an awesome race to watch, Caleb. That was very entertaining. I'm sure we see the water truck making its way back out to the Deming Speedway surface. That little bit of water they added after the other A-main. Hey, down the front straightaway, give him a hand, folks. It's Seth Hespy, your winner.
Well, whoa. It's loud. It happens.
Seth Hespy, man, oh man, you had 2 cars fighting for the lead with you. You came out on top. Tell me more about that.
First of all, that was awesome. Second of all, thanks to all you guys for coming out. We're gonna have one hell of a fireworks show. Somebody's got to buy me a beer after this, but thank you all guys for coming out. That was awesome. Really, it worked out. I got a little lucky getting to start up on the outside front row after the first lap deal, and then the car was just awesome. I could pretty much drive it as hard as I wanted to, and then later in the race, the track really slicked out and got technical, and it was so much fun. Been waiting for a track like that for a while. It really makes you have to work for it and think about stuff, and it got to a point where I didn't know if I should keep doing what I was doing or start playing defense a little bit, so I kind of mixed it up, and I guess it worked out. Tough luck for Nate breaking. Glad we were able to capitalize. That was a ton of fun.
Well, who are the people that help you out? What are their names?
Well, Ryan Kelly, my crew chief and car owner, has been doing a friggin' fantastic job all year. This is by far the best year we've had, the most speed we've had. Good buddy Glenn Nichols down here helping us out tonight. That was awesome. But a lot of people have helped us get here. Brownfield Gang and PCI and Rock Tree Ranch now is on the car. And Jeffy couldn't be here tonight, but he's been a staple to our team for years. And everyone that's even came up and told us good job at one point or good luck at one point or whatever. It means a lot every time, so thanks everybody.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Give it up for your winner, Seth Hespy.